Hi students, welcome to history class. Today's class we may learn history third chapter, impact of British rule in India. In this chapter we may learn various reforms made by British in the field of judiciary, civil services, police system and military system, and various land tax policies implemented by British, and how was the modern education, okay, and various acts passed by British in India. British East India Company fulfilled its commercial needs in the beginning as trade company. British East India Company fulfilled its needs as trade company. You already studied British came to India for the purpose of trade. Later they fulfilled their commercial needs as trade company, that is English East India Company. Okay, they established English East India Company in 1600. Okay, in this way they fulfilled their commercial needs. Okay, then the British exploited the situation of India to their benefit. Okay, next British exploited the situation of India. Then how was the situation of India? Hundreds of ruling dynasties competing each other. Okay, hundreds of dynasties competing each other. Okay, there was no unity between the ruling dynasties of India. Okay, here dynasties were engaged in fighting each other to gain power. So British exploited the situation for their benefit. Okay, they tried to control over political power in India. Okay, how does British exploited the situation of India? You already studied through Carnatic wars, then Battle of Buxar, Battle of Plassey, etc. Okay, in this way, British exploited the situation, weakening situation of India to their benefit. Okay, then British implemented policies. Okay, British implemented the policies of divide and rule. Okay, British implemented divide and rule policy. Okay, divide and rule policy. What is this divide and rule policy? If two people fighting within the country, British will support one and fought against another. Okay, that is divide and rule. If two people fighting in the country, then British will support one and fought against another one. That policy is called divide and rule policy. Not only this, British implemented one more technique. Techniques of war and negotiation. Okay, they implemented techniques of war and negotiation. Okay, some people they fought war, and some people they developed negotiation. Negotiation means a friendship treaty. Okay, let us become friends in this way. Okay, these are the different techniques used by British to develop their political power in India. Okay, British implemented techniques of war and negotiation. Okay, some people they fought war, and some people they developed negotiation or friendship. Okay, so in this way, by using various techniques, British gained control over India. Okay, they gained full political control over India. Okay, in this way, after taking India to their control by implementing various policies and techniques, British thought of strengthening their power permanently in India. Okay. British took India to their control. Okay, by employing various policies. Policies includes divide and rule policy and techniques of war and negotiation. Okay, they took their full political control over India. Later, they thought of strengthening their power permanently in India. Okay, British thought of strengthening power permanently. Okay, here British they decided to take the power of India permanently. Okay, to their ends. Okay, in this moment, India was a divide of one nation concept. Okay, India as a divide. Okay, India has divide. Divide means lack. Okay, divide means lack. Lack of one nation concept, and it divided into various kingdoms. Okay, India was divided into various kingdoms. Okay, there is no unity between various kingdoms of a country. Okay, so but British integrated whole of India under one administrative and political structure. Okay, India has lack of one nation concept. Okay, but British brought one nation concept in India. Okay, British integrated or united whole of India under one administrative and political structure. Clear this? In the beginning, education, judiciary, land taxes, agriculture, trade, all these and various activities controlled under various laws and administrative structure. But the British brought all these activities under one administrative and political structure. Okay, in the beginning, education, judiciary, then land tax, then agriculture and trade controlled under various laws. Okay, but British brought all these activities under one administrative and political structure. This way, British implemented various reforms in the field of education, judiciary, land tax, agriculture, trade and some other activities. But while implementing all these reforms, they never forget to protect the financial interest. If Indian government implemented any laws or reforms, then it become beneficial to all Indians. Okay, but here British gave more preference to protect their financial interest. Okay, in this way British East India Company used or implemented various administrative techniques, okay, to bring new administrative order in India. Clear this? Okay. We may learn what are the reforms made by British in various fields of administration. First one, civil services. Lord Cornwallis implemented administration of civil services in India. Lord Cornwallis implemented or introduced administration of civil service for the first time in India. Okay, so civil services, it includes IAS, IPS. Okay, these are all the civil services. Okay, so for the first time Lord Cornwallis implemented civil services. Clear this? Okay, so East India Company appointed employees for the purpose of trade. Okay, East India Company appointed workers or employees for the purpose of trade. Okay, later private workers also appointed. Okay, appointed for this post. Okay, East India Company appointed employees for the purpose of trade. Okay, later private workers also given permission for trade. Okay, but what happened? Okay, these opportunities were used by employees and they made money illegally. Okay, but these opportunities used by employees and made money illegally. Clear this? Lord Cornwallis implemented administration of civil services. Okay, in India. Okay, so in the beginning East India Company appointed employees or workers, okay, for the purpose of trade. Okay, later company gave permission for private workers, okay, to do trade. Okay, but what happened? This opportunity was misused by the workers or employees and they made money, okay, by illegal means. Okay, to control the misuse of trade opportunities, Government of England implemented Regulating Act in the year 1773. Okay, Government of England implemented Regulating Act in the year 1773. So the main aim of Regulating Act is to enforce the aim of Regulating Act to enforce control. Okay, this name only suggesting regulating means controlling. Okay, so the aim of regulating act is to enforce control. Very important, one more question. Okay, in this part, what are the important questions? First one, who implemented civil services? What is the answer? Lord Cornwallis. Okay, so when the regulating act passed 1773, why? What is the aim of this act? To enforce control. Okay, why did government of England implemented regulating act? Because you have to write full explanation. Okay, here Lord Cornwallis implemented administration of civil services. Okay, so East India Company appointed employees for the purpose of trade. Okay, later here a company gave permission for private workers to do trade, but this was misused by the employees of the company. So to control this, government of England implemented the important reform of Lord Cornwallis. That is, he opened Fort William College in Calcutta in the year 1800 for the benefit of Indians who aspire to join Indian civil service. Okay, Lord Cornwallis opened Fort William College in Calcutta for the benefit of people who aspire to join Indian civil service. Okay, in the year 1800. Okay, in the year 1800, Fort William College was established by Lord Cornwallis at Calcutta. Why this college was established? For the benefit of people. Okay, here people who wanted to join Indian civil service, they can take admission in this college. Okay, so but this initiation did not get support by East India Company. Okay, but East India Company was not supported it. East India Company did not give support for the planning of Lord Cornwallis. Okay, in this way, Lord Cornwallis did lot of reforms for the welfare of Indians. Okay, but it was not supported by East India Company. Okay, so till 1853, appointments done by East India Company. Okay, but after 1853, appointments were done through competitive examination. Okay, later what happened? Appointments done by competitive examination. Even today continued also. Okay, this practice continued even today also. Competitive examinations. Okay, here till 1853, all appointments of civil service done through East India Company. But after 1853, appointments done through competitive examination. Okay, but here also Indians can't get any benefit. Okay, here through competitive examination, Indians can't get a benefit. benefit. Here British were suspect the intelligence of Indians. Okay, British suspect knowledge of Indians. Okay, then Lord Cornwallis argued all the natives of Indians are completely corrupt. Okay, Lord Cornwallis argued all the natives of India completely corrupt. Okay, all Indians were completely corrupt. In this way, Cornwallis argued. Okay, so very lower grades jobs were available to Indians. Okay, so what happened? Lower grade jobs given to Indians. Clear this? In the beginning, appointments of civil services done by East India Company. Okay, but after 1853, what happened? All the appointments done through competitive examination. But this also can't give profit to Indians. Okay, why? Because British suspect the knowledge of Indians. Okay, they developed doubt about knowledge of Indians. They felt Indians have no knowledge. They were not a intelligent people. Okay, they were not an intelligent people. In this way, they developed doubt about knowledge of Indians. Especially Lord Cornwallis. He argued all the natives of India were completely corrupt. Okay, all Indians were completely corrupt. Okay, so very lower level jobs were available to Indians. Clear? We may learn what are the reforms made by British in the field of judiciary system. After the Battle of Buxar, Shah Alam II handed over authority to collect land taxes to British. Okay, after the Battle of Buxar, Shah Alam II hand over authority to collect land tax to British. Okay, as a result, dual administration come to effect in Bengal. Okay, this is called dual governance. Clear this? After the Battle of Buxar, Shah Alam II hand over authority to collect land taxes to British. Okay, or he gave Diwani rights to British. Okay, Diwani rights means authority to collect land taxes. As a result, dual administration come to effect in Bengal province. Okay, this is called dual governance. What is dual governance? Authority remained under the control of two people. Okay, power remained under the control of British and also ruler of Bengal. This is called dual governance. Clear this? Under this system, authority to collect land tax then judiciary, then law. These are all given to Indian officials. Here, Indian officials cannot spend taxes collected. Why? Because British retained the authority of managing the taxes collected. Okay, British retained authority to collect taxes. Okay, British give responsibility of collecting taxes from the people to Indian officials. But Indian officials, they can't spend it. Why? Because British retained the authority to collect land taxes. Okay, so British kept power in their hands to manage the taxes collected by the Indian officials. Okay, later British thought of introducing centralized judicial system in India. Okay, British brought centralized judicial system. There is only one judiciary for whole nation. Okay, in this way, by implementing centralized judicial system, they overtook the authority of Mughals. Okay, through this, British overtook the authority or power of Mughals. Okay, these are possible from the central implementation of centralized judicial system in India. Okay, in this way, British was successful in taking judiciary also to their control. Clear? Lord Warren Hastings became the Governor General of India. Lord Warren Hastings became the Governor General of India. He suggested to establish suggested for the need of two courts in India. Which are those two courts? One civil court, another one criminal court. Okay, here later what happened? Lord Warren Hastings became the Governor General of India, and he suggested need of two courts in India. Okay, so as a result, okay, two courts developed in India. Okay, which are those? First one civil court, second one criminal court. Civil court is also called Diwani Adalat. Then a criminal court is also called Fauzi-Dari court. Fauzi-Dari court. Okay. In civil courts, okay, here in the beginning, in civil courts, Hindus dispensed justice as per Hindu scriptures or Hindu law. Okay, in the beginning, Hindus giving judgment, okay, to cases, okay, according to Hindu scriptures or Hindu law. Okay, then in criminal courts. Okay, Muslims giving or dispensing justice as per Shariats or Muslim law. Clear this? In the beginning, in civil courts, Hindus giving judgment related to case. Okay, according to the rules of Hindu law. Okay, then criminal courts were handled by Muslims. Okay, Muslims as per the Shariats or as per Muslim law. Okay, slowly British took civil courts under their control. Okay, in the beginning, they gave authority to Hindus and Muslims. Slowly, what happened? British slowly took authority. Okay, took control of civil courts. Okay, next what happened? Criminal courts also came under the control of British. Okay, so criminal courts, Qazis giving justice. Criminal courts, Qazis giving justice, but they were under the control of European officers or they were under the control of British. Okay, in this way, by making various plans and using some techniques, okay, British undertook whole administration to their control. Okay, in the beginning they gave chance to Hindus to give judgment in civil courts. Okay, but later, okay, but then they gave opportunity for Muslims to give judgment about criminal cases. Okay, according to Shariat or Muslim law. But later what they did, they slowly took the control of civil courts. Okay, finally criminal courts also come under the control of